Victory in life begins long before the contest is fought, long before the prize is awarded, and long before the world sees the result, because victory begins in the hidden workshop of the mind. If a man trains his body but neglects his mind, he is like a soldier polishing his armor while leaving his sword to rust. The true weapon of achievement, the instrument that separates the fulfilled from the frustrated, is not the muscle, not the applause, not the money, but the disciplined, directed, and relentless mind. And here is the great paradox that few dare to face. Most people never train it. They drift through life believing the mind is merely a mirror that reflects the world, when in truth it is the furnace that forges the world. The dangerous lie of society is that talent, luck, or connections determine success. But observe history and you will see that the men and women who built empires, composed symphonies, and created industries all possessed one thing in common: a trained mind, sharpened to a point, resilient under pressure, steady when others broke. You may wonder why, if the mind holds such power, most neglected. It is because the mind is invisible. Muscles can be seen, houses can be built, money can be counted, but thought is silent, thought is secret, and thought appears to demand no maintenance. Yet thought rules all. What you think about, you become. What you focus on expands. What you allow will either lift you into greatness or bury you in mediocrity. The enemy is not out there. The enemy is in here. It is distraction, doubt, laziness, and fear. These inner saboteurs whisper that you can wait, that you are not ready, that training your mind is less urgent than entertaining it. But mark this truth: if you do not train your mind, the world will train it for you, and the curriculum will be fear, comparison, conformity, and quiet despair. Consider for a moment the farmer. He knows that the soil will grow whatever is planted, weeds or wheat. The soil does not care. It will return what is sown. Your mind is the same. If you plant thoughts of defeat, it will grow failure. If you sow seeds of discipline, it will grow mastery. If you allow the wild weeds of worry, envy, and complaint, you will harvest bitterness. But if you deliberately plant purpose, clarity, and faith, you will reap the fruits of victory. The law is impersonal. It works for anyone. It punishes the careless. It rewards the diligent, and it never takes a day off. Tonight, I want you to take a piece of paper and write these words: I am the farmer of my mind. Say it out loud. Write it in the comments if you believe it, because until you take ownership of your mental soil, you will live at the mercy of weeds. Think of the athlete who trains his body to win a race. He runs miles before dawn. He lifts weights when no one is watching. He repeats the same drills until they become muscle memory. The world sees the medal, but the real work was done in obscurity. The same law applies to the mind. Train it with discipline, feed it with knowledge, strengthen it with reflection, challenge it with new ideas, protect it from pollution. If you allow your mind to be idle, it will grow weak, just as unused muscles atrophy. But if you engage it daily, it becomes sharp, commanding, and unstoppable. Delay is not denial. Delay is not denial. Every day you train, you are advancing. Every page you read, every idea you write, every disciplined thought you hold is another step toward mastery. The false belief of our age is that winning is about speed, shortcuts, and hacks. But the truth is that winning belongs to the one who outlasts. Endurance is born in the mind. Resilience is born in the mind. Courage is born in the mind. If you build this fortress within, no storm without can shake you. Repeat this law until it sinks deep. I become what I think about most often. Do not just hear it, write it. Say it aloud. Let it ingrain itself like stone carved by water. Because once this law is accepted, every excuse collapses. You are no longer a victim of chance. You are the architect of destiny. History proves this principle. Men who were written off as failures rose to command nations once they mastered their minds. Women who were told they had no place in the world became leaders and pioneers because their thoughts could not be chained. The pattern is consistent. The inner victory always precedes the outer one. There is no such thing as accidental greatness. Behind every triumph is a mind trained to see possibilities where others saw walls, to hold vision where others surrendered to despair, to persist when others collapsed. You too are capable of this. Your mind is waiting to be trained. Tonight, begin a simple exercise. Write down one thought that has been weakening you. It may be I am not enough, I am too late, or I will never succeed. Then strike it through with your pen and beneath it write the opposite. I am enough. I am right on time. I am destined to succeed. This is not childish repetition. This is reprogramming. This is training. Each time you replace a weak thought with a strong one, you are building new grooves in your mind, like a river carving its channel. And just as the river grows stronger with each passing flow, your belief grows stronger with each repetition. The world is quick to applaud talent, beauty, or inheritance, but the truth is that the crown belongs to the one who governs thought. Every empire was first a vision, every invention was first an idea, every breakthrough was first a picture held in the mind. That same power is in you now. Will you train it, or will you leave it wild? The choice is yours. Write this declaration. Say it now if you believe it. I train my mind to win, not tomorrow, not when the conditions are right, now. For the only time you truly own is this moment, and the seeds you plant in this moment will determine the harvest of your future. Here is the law for you to engrave tonight. As I train my mind, I train my destiny. Say it aloud, write it, comment it, carry it with you like a torch in the dark. Because once you accept this law, you are no longer merely a passenger in life's journey. You are the captain, you set the direction, you hold the rudder, and the seas, no matter how rough, will yield to the one who knows where he is going and believes without hesitation that he is already on his way. The greatest enemy of the human spirit is not failure, but drift. To drift is to move without direction, to wake each day and let the tides of circumstance decide your fate. Most people do not lose because they fought and were defeated. They lose because they never trained their minds to take the wheel. Picture a ship at sea without a captain, tossed by every wave, pushed by every wind. It may move, but it will never arrive. Now picture the same ship guided by a steady hand and a fixed compass. The storms may rage, the winds may howl, but it cuts through the chaos with purpose. Your mind is that ship. Without discipline, it drifts. With discipline, it arrives, and discipline begins with thought, repeated, reinforced, and lived until it becomes second nature. Here is the lie the world sells you. Follow your feelings and you will find fulfillment. Nothing could be further from the truth. Feelings are weather. They change with every passing hour. They are not foundations for a life, but trained thought is bedrock. Feelings tell you to quit when it is hard. Trained thought tells you to continue because the law of perseverance guarantees reward. Feelings tell you to compare your journey to another's. Trained thought reminds you that comparison kills, and your only race is with the man or woman in the mirror. Feelings tell you to wait for the right moment. Trained thought insists the right moment is created by action here and now. Write this down. I do not drift. Say it aloud. Comment it if you believe it. This is your first act of resistance against the soft lie of comfort. Consider the sculptor standing before a block of marble. To the untrained eye, it is just a stone, but to the sculptor's mind, it is already a statue. Each strike of the chisel removes what does not belong. Each patient hour brings the hidden figure into view. The same law governs your life. The block of marble is your potential. Your mind is the sculptor. Every disciplined thought chisels away fear, laziness, and distraction until the form of your destiny emerges. But the marble does not shape itself. If you neglect the chisel, the stone remains rough and unformed, and the world will never see the masterpiece that could have been. Take the chisel of focus in your hand each morning. Ask yourself, what must be carved away today? Write it down, then act on it. The mind has two masters, and you must choose one. The first is habit. The second is intention. If habit rules, you will repeat the same cycles endlessly. The same excuses, the same failures, the same frustrations. If intention rules, you will break patterns, set new directions, and rise above the mass of men who live and die without ever waking up. Do not be deceived by the false belief that freedom is the absence of discipline. That is chaos, not freedom. True freedom is found in training. A pianist is free to create beauty only because he disciplined his fingers for years. An athlete is free to move with grace only because he trained his body. And you will be free to live fully only when you have trained your mind to obey you, not enslave you. Delay is not denial. Repeat it until it echoes in your bones. Delay is not denial. The late bloomer, the long worker, the patient soul who refuses to drift will one day outpace the hurried and the hasty. Why? Because he trained his mind to endure. The sprinter burns bright and fades. The marathoner holds steady and finishes. Which are you? The world praises quick sparks, but the fire that endures through the night belongs to the one who tends it with discipline. If you believe your fire will not go out, write it in the comments. I am built to endure. This simple act of declaration trains your subconscious to align with truth. Speak it, write it, live it. Here is a practical exercise for tonight. Take 10 minutes in silence. No music, no distraction. Ask your mind a single question. What is the one area of my life that drifts most? It may be your finances, your health, your relationships, or your work. Write it on paper. Then write one deliberate thought to replace the drift. If your finances drift with spending, write, I control my money with discipline. If your health drifts with neglect, write, I honor my body with action. This is training. It may seem small, but repetition of such declarations will carve channels in your subconscious deeper than the Grand Canyon. And when the storms come, your ship will not drift, it will stand. The law is clear. The mind untrained will betray you. The mind trained will serve you. Say this law aloud with me now. A trained mind is a loyal servant. An untrained mind is a dangerous master. Do not let this remain a phrase you heard. Ingrain it, write it, comment it, place it in your journal where you will see it daily. Because once you accept this law, every excuse vanishes. You can no longer say, I cannot control my life, for you control your thoughts, and your thoughts control your life. Most people lose the battle of life before it has even begun because they never learn that the mind is a battlefield. They imagine that the world outside is the great opponent, when in truth the greatest contest is waged within. Every day your mind is assaulted by voices of doubt, images of comparison, and temptations to abandon your path. And unless you have trained it, unless you have strengthened it like a soldier preparing for war, those attacks will cut you down. But here is the deeper truth no one wants to confront. Victory and defeat both start invisibly, in the private chambers of thought. The man who believes he is beaten will walk into every room already bowed. The man who believes he is capable will walk into the same room with command. The difference was not the room, it was the mind. One of the cruelest lies whispered by the culture is that success depends on external approval. This is the poison of comparison, the disease of measuring yourself by another man's timeline. You see another succeed early and conclude you are behind. You see another praised loudly and conclude you are invisible. But here is the law: comparison kills concentration, and without concentration, no mind can be trained to win. The oak does not compare itself to the pine. It simply grows according to its design. The river does not compare itself to the sea. It simply flows in its direction until it joins. You must cast off the chains of comparison if you wish to train your mind for victory. Write this down. I refuse to compare. Say it aloud. Comment it now if you are ready to step into freedom. For as long as you measure your life by another's, you will never master your own. Think of the archer who pulls back the string of his bow. If his eye glances at another target, his arrow will miss. His only chance for precision is focus. The same law governs your destiny. If your attention is divided between pleasing the crowd, chasing trends, and living your vision, you will miss your mark. But if you fix your gaze, if you focus with relentless clarity on the one target that matters, your mind will align with your aim. Here is the exercise for you. Tonight, write down one goal you have neglected because you were too busy comparing yourself to others. Then beneath it, write, My aim is fixed. Read it aloud every morning until the arrow of your life flies straight. This simple act of focus trains your subconscious to serve your vision instead of scattering your strength. The mind unguarded is like a city without walls. Anything can enter. Gossip, fear, doubt, and envy march in like invading armies. But a trained mind stands watch at its gates. It asks of every thought, does this build me or weaken me? Does this strengthen my vision or scatter it? If the thought does not serve, it is cast out. This is the discipline of mental vigilance, and it is the price of victory. You would not let a thief into your home, why then let one into your mind? The thief of doubt robs you of courage. The thief of envy robs you of joy. The thief of distraction robs you of time. Stand guard. Write this law in your notebook. I am the guardian of my mind. Speak it now if you accept the duty, because until you guard it, your mind will be plundered by whatever noise the world throws your way. Here is a pattern you must see clearly. Those who rise in silence, who discipline their thoughts, who refuse to drift or compare, are often unnoticed in the beginning. The world does not applaud training, it applauds performance. But the man who trains will one day perform at a level so undeniable that no applause or absence of applause can change his reality. Training first, recognition later, that is the order. Reverse it and you will collapse. Accept it and you will rise. Repeat this phrase until it is engraved in your heart. Train now, shine later. Comment it if you are committed. Say it aloud until it becomes instinct. This is not a suggestion, it is a law of life. The false belief to destroy today is the idea that you must be seen to be significant. Significance does not come from visibility, it comes from mastery. A diamond hidden underground is still a diamond. A trained mind unseen is still a force waiting for its moment. Never confuse the stage with the preparation. Never confuse applause with achievement. The world often sees last what has been prepared longest, and when it finally does, it mistakes the result for a miracle. But you will know it was law. The law of mental training applied daily, faithfully, relentlessly. Tonight, here is what I ask of you. Take 5 minutes to sit in silence and observe your thoughts without judgment. Notice which are weeds and which are seeds. When a weak thought arises, replace it with a strong one aloud. If you hear I am not good enough, say, I am more than enough. If you hear I am too late, say, I am right on time. If you hear I will never win, say, I am destined to win. This is mental exercise. Each repetition strengthens your inner muscle. Each declaration adds armor to your spirit. And over time, just as the body grows fit through training, the mind grows unshakable. The law to engrave tonight is this: comparison is the enemy of concentration. Speak it, write it, carry it, because once you reject comparison, you reclaim your focus, and once you reclaim your focus, you reclaim your power. That is how a mind is trained to win. The mind left untamed is like a wild horse running in every direction at once, burning energy but arriving nowhere. But when trained, when given reins, discipline, and command, it becomes a stallion of unstoppable power, carrying its rider to heights others never reach. This is the truth most overlook. They mistake busyness for progress, motion for momentum, noise for achievement. They do not see that without a harnessed mind, without control over thought, they are sprinting in circles. The world is full of men and women who labor day and night, yet remain unfulfilled because their minds are scattered. But the ones who triumph, the true victors, are those who direct every ounce of mental energy toward a single worthy aim until it bends the world to their will. One of the most destructive lies of our culture is the worship of distraction. We call it multitasking. We call it staying connected, but the truth is we are fragmenting our greatest weapon. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot focus on 10 things at once and expect mastery in any of them. The mind grows strong through concentrated effort, just as the beam of sunlight becomes fire only when magnified through a lens. But most scatter their thoughts like loose sand, wondering why no fire is lit. Write this down now. Focus is fire. Say it aloud until it echoes. Comment it below if you believe it, because when you master focus, you ignite a power that no obstacle can extinguish. Think of the craftsman building a violin. His hands move with patience, his eyes fixed on detail, his attention absorbed by the wood before him. He does not rush, he does not divide his mind with trivial matters. Every stroke is deliberate, and because of that patience, generations will hear music from his work. Now imagine your life as that violin. Will you craft it with intention, or will you rush through carelessly, leaving it fragile and out of tune? The trained mind is the patient craftsman. It understands that excellence is born from deliberate focus, not hurried effort. Each day you discipline your thoughts is another stroke of the blade that shapes destiny. Your environment reflects the state of your mind. A cluttered desk mirrors a cluttered thought life. A distracted schedule mirrors a distracted focus. If you wish to train your mind, begin by training your environment. Clear the clutter. Remove what does not serve your vision. Replace noise with silence. Replace chaos with order. This simple act of external discipline feeds your internal discipline. Tonight, take 10 minutes to clean one space that reflects your mind. As you do, say aloud, I create order out of chaos. Write it in your journal. Comment it if you accept this challenge, because the law is clear: your outer world follows your inner world, and your inner world obeys your thoughts. Beware of the inner enemy that whispers, you can do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is the great thief of victory. It convinces the weak that delay is harmless, that training can wait. But the mind trained tomorrow is the mind that loses today. You cannot wait for the right moment to begin. The right moment is created by beginning. Say it with me now. I start today. I start now. Write it down and engrave it, because once you accept this truth, procrastination loses its grip. And each day you begin, you are compounding progress until momentum itself carries you forward like a wave. You must also confront impatience, the subtle destroyer of endurance. The impatient mind wants quick results, overnight transformations, instant recognition. But life rewards patience, not haste. A tree does not bear fruit the day it is planted. The harvest follows the season of roots. The same law applies to you. Every affirmation you repeat, every declaration you write, every thought you discipline is another root strengthening beneath the soil. And when the season comes, your fruits will be undeniable. Repeat this law until you feel it. Patience is power. Comment it now. Write it on paper, because the world cannot see the roots, but they are the foundation of every towering tree. The practical step for tonight is this: choose 1 hour tomorrow to be free of all distraction. No phone, no noise, no divided tasks. In that hour, train your mind to focus solely on one pursuit: reading, writing, creating, or planning. Observe how difficult it first feels. That is proof of how much training you need, but stay with it. Each focused hour is like lifting a weight for your mind. Each session builds strength, and soon what once felt impossible will become your natural state. This is how concentration is trained, not in theory, in practice. Do not forget the law you must engrave: an undivided mind creates undeniable results. Say it now, write it down, comment it if you claim it. Because once you accept this law, distraction loses its illusion of power, and when distraction dies, focus rises, and when focus rises, victory is inevitable. The greatest victories of life are not won by strength of body or the applause of crowds, but by the quiet mastery of thought in the hidden chambers of the mind. The battlefield is unseen, the weapons are invisible, yet the results shape empires, inventions, fortunes, and destinies. The truth is simple, though rarely lived. If you do not train your mind, you will be trained by the world, and the world's training is always the same: fear, conformity, distraction, and surrender. The mind that is left untrained becomes the slave of circumstance, but the mind that is trained becomes the master of circumstance. This is the dividing line between the majority who drift and the minority who rise. One of the most seductive lies that destroys the untrained is the belief that talent alone guarantees success. Talent is only raw material, like iron ore buried in the earth. Without discipline, it rusts. Without refinement, it crumbles. Without training, it remains hidden. But a trained mind is the furnace that takes talent and shapes it into steel. Think of the countless gifted people you have seen who never fulfilled their promise, who wasted years in distraction, who let comfort steal their fire. Talent without training is tragedy. Training without talent is still victory, because the law is clear: persistence beats brilliance when brilliance fails to persist. Write this down: persistence wins. Say it aloud, comment it below if you know it to be true. Imagine the boxer who enters the ring with strength but no strategy. He may land blows, but he cannot endure. Contrast him with the fighter who studies, trains, and disciplines his every movement. He may not look the strongest at first glance, but when the rounds drag on, he is the one still standing. Life is no different. It is not the strongest who win, nor the fastest, nor the loudest, but the most disciplined in mind. The ones who have trained their thoughts to endure discouragement, to absorb setbacks, to rise after every defeat. The secret of the late victor is this: his training was deeper than the battle. When you train harder in thought than life ever tests you, no trial can break you. But here lies the hidden enemy that must be destroyed: the illusion of comfort. Comfort whispers, "You've done enough. You deserve to rest. You can slow down." Yet comfort is the silent assassin of dreams. It creeps in unnoticed and robs men of their hunger, their urgency, their fire. The trained mind does not hate rest, but it despises stagnation. Rest is recovery. Comfort is surrender. Know the difference. Write this declaration now: I choose growth over comfort. Say it aloud until it vibrates in your bones, because every time you choose growth, you advance. Every time you choose comfort, you decay. There is no neutral ground. Consider the blacksmith at his forge. He heats the metal until it glows, then strikes it again and again. Each strike strengthens the steel. Each strike shapes it for its purpose. If the blacksmith stopped too soon, the steel would remain weak. But because he endures, the weapon is forged. Your mind is that steel. Every repetition of affirmation, every act of discipline, every guarded thought is another strike of the hammer. And though you cannot see the progress in the moment, each blow is adding strength. Do not despise the process. It is the fire and the hammer that make the blade unbreakable. Tonight, here is your exercise. Write down 3 areas of your life where you have been choosing comfort over growth. It may be your health, your finances, your discipline, or your relationships. Write them plainly. Then beside each one, write the opposite declaration: I choose growth. Say it aloud 3 times, and commit tomorrow to one action in each area that represents growth instead of comfort. This is training. Small steps repeated create unshakable habits, and unshakable habits build unstoppable minds. Delay is not denial. Do not confuse the absence of immediate results with failure. The seed grows unseen beneath the soil before it breaks the surface. The late bloomer, the patient worker, the disciplined thinker will one day rise when others have burned out. This is law. You are not late. You are being prepared. Repeat this truth aloud. I am right on time. Comment it below if you believe it, because the mind that believes it is late becomes anxious and scattered, but the mind that trusts the timing becomes calm, focused, and unstoppable. Engrave this law tonight. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Say it now. Write it on your paper. Place it where you will see it each morning. Because once you accept this law, you will no longer waste your energy wondering why progress feels hard. You will know that hardness is the forge, and you will embrace it. And the more you embrace it, the more your mind hardens into steel, unbreakable, unshakable, prepared for victory. The truth that separates winners from wanderers is this: success is not an event, it is a process of daily conditioning, and that conditioning takes place in the mind before it ever manifests in the world. Most people wait for opportunity to knock, but opportunity does not visit the unprepared. The untrained mind prays for luck. The trained mind prepares for law. You see, luck is the language of the drifting man who does not understand that cause precedes effect. The disciplined man knows the law. Thoughts become beliefs, beliefs become actions, actions become habits, and habits carve destiny. When you train your mind to win, you no longer hope for chance. You operate by law, and the law is as certain as gravity. A dangerous illusion many cling to is the belief that success is a mystery granted to the chosen few. They imagine some are blessed with a spark while others are left in the dark. But look closely and you will see that every enduring victor followed the same pattern: a trained mind that ruled over doubt, persistence that outlasted opposition, and clarity that cut through distraction. There are no chosen few. There are only trained and untrained minds. Write this declaration now. I am trained for victory. Say it aloud. Comment it below. Let it ingrain itself, because once you reject the myth of luck, you claim the power of law. Think of the pilot preparing his aircraft. He does not simply wish for a safe flight. He checks every instrument, studies the route, and rehearses contingencies. The flight is not left to chance. It is prepared in advance. The same law applies to your future. If you approach it with drifting thoughts, you will crash into disappointment. If you approach it with trained thought, your takeoff and landing are secure. The untrained mind wishes. The trained mind prepares. Tonight, write down one area of your life where you have been wishing instead of preparing. Then write the opposite. I prepare, therefore I win. This is how you shift from luck to law, from drift to direction. Another inner enemy to expose is self-doubt, the quiet voice that insists you are not capable, not worthy, not enough. It is the parasite of potential, feeding on every insecurity you allow to live unchecked. But self-doubt is not destroyed by argument. It is destroyed by training. Each time you act in defiance of doubt, you weaken it. Each time you declare truth over lies, you shrink it. Each time you hold fast to your vision despite fear, you bury it. Write this now. I am enough. Say it with conviction. Comment it if you are ready to silence doubt. The trained mind does not wait for confidence to appear. It acts, and confidence follows. Do not underestimate repetition. Just as a river carves a canyon not by force but by persistence, repeated thoughts engrave themselves into your subconscious until they are instinct. The untrained man thinks once and forgets. The trained man repeats until the thought becomes identity. If you want to win, you must condition your mind daily. Repetition is not weakness, it is power. Consider the athlete who lifts the same weight, runs the same drill, rehearses the same move thousands of times. His strength is not born of novelty but of discipline. Your mind requires the same. Repeat the truth until it becomes who you are. Beware of the cultural lie that change must be dramatic, overnight, and explosive. This is impatience dressed as ambition. Real transformation is quiet, consistent, and steady. It is built day by day, thought by thought, repetition by repetition. The untrained chase sparks, the trained build fires. Write this law now. Small disciplines create great victories. Say it aloud, comment it, believe it, because once you accept the power of small, consistent training, you will stop despising beginnings. And when you stop despising beginnings, you will finally have the patience to reach greatness. Tonight's practical exercise is this. Choose one affirmation that resonates most deeply with you. I am enough. I am right on time. I train my mind to win. Write it on a card. Place it by your bed, in your wallet, or on your desk. Every morning, repeat it 5 times before you begin your day. Do not underestimate this simple act. It is training. It is conditioning. And in weeks, you will notice your thought patterns shifting, your choices aligning, your confidence rising. This is how a mind is reprogrammed, not in theory, but in practice. Engrave this law tonight. Repetition is the mother of mastery. Say it now, write it down, comment it if you commit to it. Because once you embrace repetition, you embrace the true engine of transformation. And the one who embraces repetition cannot be stopped, because every day he grows stronger, every day he grows sharper, every day he grows closer to inevitable victory. The tragedy of the untrained life is not that it fails loudly, but that it decays silently. Most men and women never collapse in one dramatic moment. They drift little by little, day by day, surrendering inches until their dreams are unrecognizable. They tell themselves small lies. I will start tomorrow. I am too tired today. One more excuse won't matter. And yet these small lies repeated become identity. A man does not suddenly wake up defeated. He wakes up defeated because he never trained his mind to resist those lies. But here is the law that rescues anyone willing to hear it. Identity follows repetition. If you repeat excuses, you become the kind of person who excuses. If you repeat discipline, you become the kind of person who wins. Say it now. I train my identity through repetition. Write it down. Comment it if you believe it. For once you accept that truth, you are no longer a victim of weakness. You are the author of who you become. Do not underestimate the subtle poison of mediocrity. It disguises itself as safety, as normality, as belonging. It whispers, everyone else is living this way. Why not you? But mediocrity is nothing more than surrender disguised as comfort. The trained mind rejects it. The trained mind sees that average is not safe. It is dangerous, because while mediocrity promises stability, it delivers regret. Do you want to end your life saying, at least I blended in? Or do you want to end it declaring, I lived fully, I gave all, I became what I was meant to be? Write this law. Mediocrity is failure in slow motion. Say it aloud. Repeat it until the illusion shatters. And once you reject mediocrity, you reclaim the fire that was always yours. Think of the miner deep underground, chipping its stone in darkness. For days, weeks, months, there is no sign of gold. Yet he continues. One day, with a single strike, the wall gives way and the treasure pours forth. Did the treasure appear suddenly? No, it was always there, waiting. And every swing, though unseen, was progress. This is the reality of mental training. You may not see the results after 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month, but each disciplined thought is another swing of the pick. Each declaration is another strike at the wall, and one day, suddenly, the breakthrough comes. Do not quit one strike before gold. Write this declaration, I swing until I win. Say it now. Comment it if you are committed, because when your mind is trained to persist, the wall must one day fall. Here is a lie to destroy today. The belief that discipline is punishment. Many resist training because they imagine it is deprivation. But in truth, discipline is liberation. The man without discipline is chained by impulse. The man with discipline is free to choose his destiny. The child wants sweets now. The adult chooses health later. The drifter spends now. The disciplined invests for tomorrow. Discipline does not take freedom away, it grants it. Write this law now. Discipline is freedom. Speak it aloud, carry it with you. Because once you see discipline as gift instead of burden, your mind will no longer resist training. It will embrace it. The untrained mind worships motivation, waiting for a spark to act. But motivation is fickle. It comes and goes like wind. The trained mind worships consistency. It acts whether it feels like it or not. It builds habits that carry it forward on days when motivation is absent. This is the difference between the amateur and the professional, the dreamer and the doer. If you want to win, you must trade motivation for discipline, excitement for consistency, bursts for endurance. Say this declaration with me, I am consistent. Write it down. Comment it if you accept it. Because the one who is consistent cannot fail, he can only arrive. Your practical exercise tonight is this. Set one non-negotiable daily action for the next 7 days. Something so simple you cannot excuse it away. Perhaps it is repeating your declaration 5 times each morning. Perhaps it is reading 10 minutes of uplifting material. Perhaps it is writing 1 line in your journal. Choose it, commit to it, do it, and watch how your self-image begins to shift. Each small victory trains your mind to trust itself. And when your mind trusts itself, its power multiplies. Engrave this law tonight. Consistency is invincibility. Say it aloud. Write it on paper. Comment it now. Because once you engrave this truth, you will no longer chase bursts of progress. You will commit to steady growth. And the man or woman who grows steadily cannot be stopped, for even time itself becomes their ally, and when time is your ally, victory is inevitable. The final truth you must engrave into your being is this: the greatest battle you will ever fight is not against the world outside, but against the small voice within that tempts you to quit. Every external challenge, poverty, rejection, loss, or failure, becomes powerless once your inner world is trained to endure. But if your inner world collapses, no outer victory will save you. That is why the highest achievement is mastery of self. To train your mind to win is to prepare yourself to stand tall in storms, to walk steadily in droughts, to persist when every voice says surrender. The crown of victory belongs not to the swift or the strong alone, but to the one who refuses to be conquered from within. Here is the false belief we must shatter once and for all, that winning means defeating others. No, the true victory is mastery over self. The man who controls his own thoughts, his own habits, his own vision, is greater than the one who conquers cities. The woman who trains her mind to resist fear, comparison, and doubt is richer than the one who inherits kingdoms. Because outer victories fade, but the inner victory once won endures forever. Repeat this truth aloud: my greatest enemy is within, and I have already won. Write it now. Comment it below if you believe it. For once you grasp this, you will no longer be distracted by competition. You will rise above, focused solely on the only opponent who matters: your untrained self. Think of the marathon runner approaching the final stretch. His muscles ache, his lungs burn, his body pleads to stop. Yet his mind whispers, just one more step, and then another, and another, until he crosses the line. Was it his legs that won? No, it was his trained mind that commanded his legs to continue. Life will test you the same way. You will face stretches where quitting feels easier than pressing forward. But if your mind has been trained with affirmations, with discipline, with declarations, it will whisper in your darkest moment, just one more step, and that whisper will carry you across the line. The untrained will always look for shortcuts, for hacks, for secrets that bypass the law of discipline. But the trained mind accepts that no such shortcut exists. The seed cannot be rushed. The harvest cannot be stolen. The law cannot be tricked. Success, peace, and fulfillment are reserved for those who plant daily, water daily, endure patiently, and reap in season. Write this law now. There are no shortcuts to greatness. Say it aloud. Comment it below. For once you reject the fantasy of shortcuts, you free yourself to finally do the work that guarantees results. Your final exercise is this: write down the single most important goal of your life right now. Not 10 goals, not a scattered list. One, write it clearly. Then beneath it, write one daily habit you will commit to that trains your mind to align with that goal. Each morning, read it aloud. Each evening, repeat it before bed. This is not just a practice, it is a covenant with your future. If you honor it, your mind will grow stronger each day until the gap between who you are and who you desire to be is closed. Let me leave you with the declaration that must live in your spirit long after this message ends. Say it now with full conviction: I train my mind to win. Write it on your paper, comment it if you are ready to engrave it, whisper it in the morning, declare it at night, carry it into every room, every task, every trial, because the law is unbreakable. What you repeatedly think you become, and the one who trains his mind to win will, without exception, one day look back and realize he has. Victory begins in the mind. It is forged in silence, strengthened in repetition, and revealed in time. Do not wait for it. Do not wish for it. Train for it. And as you train, remember this final law: a mind trained to win cannot be defeated. Say it, write it, carry it, live it. For once this law is engraved, your path is no longer uncertain. You are no longer drifting. You are no longer hoping. You are certain, steady, and unstoppable. And when the world finally sees your victory, you will know it was never luck. It was law.